What's up, power couples that rock? Okay, now I said something about my Instagram is not streaming live, but you can catch us on Facebook Live as well as YouTube. We want to say it is
Timeless
Timeless
Tuesday.
Tuesday. And we have a word for you tonight as it relates to mental health awareness. We've been dealing with this for over a month now. Well, about a month. Well, this week is our fourth week, and we have some special guests that we're going to talk about in just a moment. But if you have not been tuning in, you are missing a treat.
Yes.
You are definitely missing a treat. So go out to our YouTube channel and you can look at some of those videos and conversations that we had, and the chat. It was just blowing up with great questions around this topic. So I just say, welcome this evening. We're looking forward to having a great conversation. I just want to remind you that we are Carlos and Catherine Green of Power Couples Rock, where we build purposeful pathways so that you can have masterful marriages. And how do we do that? We do it through resources, workshops, seminars, books, and also live events. So welcome to this space. And I'm going to turn it over to Carlos at this time.
So we're very excited about our show tonight. Again, my wife has said that we've been doing these shows over the last 3 weeks, celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month. And we specifically have intentionally brought on licensed professional counselors that could really help us to process through some of the topics that we've been dealing with at this point. And we have no shortage of an amazing young lady that we've been friends with. It has to have been over 30 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's been about 30 years, at least because I know, which is crazy, right? Because we've actually been here in Atlanta for over 20 years. And then we were in Cincinnati for at least 7. I would say 27 to 30 years. We've known you all. You all were actually one of the first couples that we met when we moved to Cincinnati. And then again, I always tell the story. Then they abandoned us. They moved to Birmingham.
That's terrible.
That's
it.
They were on a mission from God, just like we were. They were going to another state, just like we were coming to.
That's right.
Absolutely.
But what I absolutely love about this couple is that we continue to stay in connection with one another. We've visited, we've done life together, and it's just been absolutely incredible. So I just want to welcome to our show tonight none other than Miss Adrienne Mixon and her wonderful husband, Pastor Adam Mixon. What's up, people? What's up?
Thank you.
We're so excited that you all are actually on with us tonight to really celebrate, not even celebrate, to really discuss and talk about mental health awareness. But before we actually dive in, I want to give Adrienne Mixon's credentials.
Yes.
Because I think it's so important that you all understand that work that she's actually put in to be able to provide some professional counseling to those who may be having some challenges mentally. So Adrienne Mixon is a licensed professional counselor who studied with her undergraduate degree at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and received her master's in science and mental health counseling at Walden University. And in October 2022, we're so excited about this, she opened her own practice called Better Days Counseling.
Yes.
Her mission is that she encourages clients to find hope through healing using cognitive behavioral therapy. Now, something a little personal about her, she's actually been fulfilling the pastor's role for over 24 years and continues to work beside her husband her husband, Pastor Adam Mixon, for 30 plus
Woo!
years.
Yes.
Y'all look like y'all are 30. Come on. Come on.
Okay.
Yes. And then her great accomplishments, and I thank you for saying this, Adrian. Her greatest accomplishments are being a wife, a mother of 3, and a grandmother. And I love that her tagline is that, and in all you're getting, get understanding, in Proverbs 4, verse 7. So you all, I am excited to actually welcome to our show tonight Miss Adrian Mixon and her amazing husband, Adam Mixon.
Wow.
Yes, let's go. Let's go. We got to drop some nuggets for our viewers.
Yes.
Yes. You know, I was just sitting down before you jump on. I was sitting down and I saw the basketball, I guess the tournaments are on now.
Yes.
And I haven't been keeping up with it. I just really have not. I don't know if it's because some of my older players, they've retired and they've gone on and done some things.
Retired people. They gone. They gone.
They gone.
I'm telling my age now, but what I do most enjoy is I love the commentating that they have, the commentators, and how they still have that camaraderie between each other, and they're just shelling out information in their live. So I want to say that all of those who are watching the playoffs, you need to get on this playoff, okay? Get on this playoff tonight, because it is going to be, we're winners in this. When we get this information, and she talked about knowledge, this is where you win, and we have that information from you. So tonight we're going to be talking about, can we talk?
Can we?
Yeah.
Addressing the silence, stigma, and strength of mental health in the Black community. Wow. That's going to be awesome. And so before you jump in, just tell us, Adrian, why did you get in this field? What made you passionate about this field?
I have asked that question a lot recently. I was like, why in the world did I pursue this? Because it's a lot of hours. It's not just get a degree. You have to prove yourself for several hours before they say, okay, 3,000
hours.
plus residency. Thank you for the greens when I had to come to Atlanta. Y'all let me stay in your house.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Yes. I was very broke. Yeah. Thank y'all. But yeah, I think since I was a kid, I've never liked to see people hurting. And especially the ones who people see it and ignore them. And for us, I think I saw a lot of things growing up that didn't get diagnosed just in our community or just people around us. They're like, oh, ain't so-and-so, she's just real quiet. Or Uncle so-and-so, he's just, no, actually, they had something going on, but nobody put a name on it. Everybody was afraid of them. But if we are able to talk about it and stop lying and say that's just how they are, we might be able to address it and keep it from happening generation-wise. So yeah.
That's something that's in your heart already. You know, when God gives that to you, you don't know how that's going to play out. And we just thank you for just opening your heart up and walking in your gifting.
My God.
So why specifically the Black community for you?
Wow. Always overlooked.
Wow.
Always overlooked, stepped on, ignored. We're going to call it something else. We're going to give it to somebody else. Why not? We are the most talented, beautiful, creative that I know. But everybody else gets the credit. They get the funding. You know, another part of town, somebody's child will have a problem and they get them some help. You know what they do for us? They put us in prison.
We get criminalized.
Wow.
That's not always what needs to happen. No. So why not us?
Wow. Are the majority of your clients people of color?
Yes. But honestly, I tell people, I was like, if we make it through the first session, if you're not comfortable, that's fine, because you need to find somebody who is a fit for you. It has to go both ways, and they end up staying.
Okay.
Because you got to deal with the human being. It's not about what your gender is or your color. do you see me? I said, I see human beings who can talk.
Okay.
Stop asking me if I deal with this gender or that gender. Can you talk? Are you a human being? And side note, I got Cash App and PayPal. Can you do that too?
Exactly. That part, right?
Yeah.
I'm dealing with people.
Yeah, you're dealing with people. Big time. I love that. So I know we've got some questions for you, but do you have any statistics that you can share with us that deals with our community and mental health?
Well, when I was reading and praying, it may not be a statistic, but it is history.
Okay.
I said, if we're going to deal with the stigma before we go to the silence, I was looking up what they did to the slaves. There was a man who came up with 2 mental disorders that said this pertains to strictly the slaves, drapetomania.
Okay, yeah. I'm familiar with that name.
Where they said if they want to run away, it's in their head.
It's a mental illness.
It's a mental illness. If they stay a slave, that's where they're getting out of place. They put a name on slaves running away. They said that's a mental illness.
Wow.
If they wanted to leave,
If they wanted to run away,
they wanted to be free.
Slavery.
that was the first one. The second one is called dysphagia.
Yes, yes.
The mental illness for the Negroes, it says they're lazy, they're lethargic, they don't want to work. It's in their mind that they don't want to work.
So that's what that was the stereotype that someone labeled Black people, calling it dysphoria, that in our minds that we're lazy and we don't want to work.
Yeah, and the punishment for both was whipping.
Oh,
that's how they treated it. That was the treatment.
That was the treatment.
So going back for years they believed it, and of course it was discredited. But that's like the beginning of racism and systems that were created. So if they do something and we try to stop them, punish them.
But even though it was discredited, though, Adrian, I'm thinking about all of the times that all of the years that we had to go through to undo that stereotype, to discredit that. And so many people probably lived with that paradigm or that mindset.
And the vestiges of that mindset still exist.
Yeah.
When we think about the disparities in discipline in our schools, how Black children are 3 times more likely to be labeled a disciplinary problem.
Yeah.
Where a non-Black child would be labeled, they have some behavioral. They get treatment. Our kids get IEPs, or they get disciplined, or they get put out.
Conduct disorders.
There's different. The way that that our children are typically labeled is because of, again, just this history of, criminalizing sickness when it comes to poor people or Black people.
It's true.
You're putting that label on us, and then people are feeding into that stereotype as well. And you all have just really put tonight, there's just been such a seriousness that's given to it, because we're talking about the community, which I am a part of, which I'm a proud part of, to walk through that. And I want to make sure that we, one, is dispel any kind of myths that are out there that are inappropriate, and then 2, what is actually being exacerbated out there, and what do we need to do to make sure that we are dispelling those things as well. So for anyone who's actually listening, who is on tonight, hey, give us your thoughts on those 2 items that Adrian talked about. You said dysphoria is one.
Dysphagia.
Where it says that we're lazy, we don't want to work. And then the second one is if slaves wanted their freedom, if they ran away, that was a mental issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would love to hear from you all about what you all think about that. So let's dive in. Captain, you want to ask her the first question?
I did want to talk about, what are some of the stigmas that are affecting our families and our faith and generations.
Wow, families. We don't like to call a thing a thing.
Okay, talk a little bit more.
That's part of the problem. The way we label things, because how we see it is how we're going to treat it. Yeah. I recall the scripture, Mark chapter 5, where the man was cutting himself, and everybody distanced themselves because it is odd. You're like, whoa, I can't deal with that. So he did what everybody else does. They left him alone. But when he saw Jesus,
come on,
that's the thing. He saw Jesus. Jesus addressed what was going on in him. And in verse 9, he says, what is your name? He was dealing with what's going on inside of him. Yes. I'm not saying everybody who has a mental illness is possessed. That's not the point. He named what was going on. Go ahead.
I want to say something to that. That is really powerful, because that naming, or in the when you break down the etymology of it, the diagnosis, gnosis, the naming of, putting a label on, is one of the gifts that God gave to humanity in the beginning. If you think about it, when God created Adam and he placed Adam in the garden, one of the first things he did with Adam was says, name these animals. In the second chapter of Genesis, that naming process is an exercise of taking control of, or taking dominion over. So naming something is not just innocuous. It means that if I name it, then I can control it, which is why when doctors give a diagnosis, then they prescribe a treatment. If I can name it,
that's it.
I can treat it. If I can treat it, then I can provide a prognosis. I can give you an outlook or aim toward a particular outcome. I can track that. And it begins with being able to name a thing, call a thing, not just a special, not just, they're a little off, not just,
that's what we say, right?
That's just how they are. That's just how they are. But no, there's something that needs to be named in them so that the appropriate medicine or treatment or therapy can be applied, so that instead of that thing carrying and controlling them, they can bear it. It may never go away, but they can learn things through the type of therapy that Adrian gives that allow them to bear it.
So you're saying gnosis, you all are educating us so much tonight already, and we just dived into this. So gnosis equals naming it.
You're
doing something. And I know that me and Catherine, we actually have an acronym that we call KNIT. Keep knitting. So it says keep naming it. And so we named our home because we wanted to make sure that we understood the purpose for our home. So we call it the covenant home. Raising our children, we will always put a name on what they were doing, because we wanted to make sure that they could live in that purpose in which they were designed to live in. And so we would oftentimes stop people from saying, because I even had to tell one of my friends just the other day, they said, my son is so lazy. I said, hold up. That's not what we're going to be naming. Let's use a different way that we're going to address that issue.
That's right.
Maybe the behavior is not what you are wanting, but let's just be careful of what we put on our sons and our daughters or our children. So thank you all for giving us that.
Which to that end, Carlos, naming always dictates how we treat something or someone.
Oh, wow.
The label that we put. That's why, and I'll hush after this, I promise.
Let's go.
When Jesus was dealing with the Jewish leader who asked him, what's the greatest commandment? And he says, you know what it is. You know what the law says. What does it say? And he says, you got to love the Lord. You got to love your neighbor as yourself. So the man says, who is my neighbor?
Yeah.
He's looking for a label, because if I can label those who are neighbors, then I can assign to them what behavior or what treatment is appropriate for them. So if I can put you outside of the realm of neighbor, then I don't have to be neighborly to you. I don't have to be loving and gracious and compassionate and generous. It is a something to putting a name on, because again, if it's used wrongly, it can be used to dominate or control. But used rightly in a healing capacity, you can free. You're freeing and liberating people.
That's
by
fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. So wait a minute, let me make sure I have this right. Naming always dictates how we treat
something or someone.
Something or something.
How what you call it is going to define how you treat it or how you treat them.
You know what? Okay, so maybe I may get this, would be a little humorous, but you know, we always named our cars.
Betsy,
shouting,
Grace,
Grace, yes. But then it always dictate how you treated your car. Because if you had a name for your car, whatever it is, you
did dog her. You did dog her out.
No, you did not dog her out. You did not. You took care of her when you named her. You know, like when I named my wife, Miss Cat. You know, Cat.
You give me that.
Wait a minute.
Give me that nickname.
But it is.
I get that now. Wait a minute.
But I love that you know, because it does dictate how we treat something or an individual, and it let's go back to that mental health space, especially in our community.
Yes,
because if we don't label it, or we may label it and just call it, well, they crazy.
Mislabel it.
Mislabel. And that made me think about there's two things. And then I'm gonna jump back to you all. But one, in our home, if we're looking for something, we'll go, you know, that thing, and then we often say, what is the thing? What is the thing? And I'm like, you know what I'm talking about? No, name it. And it just has such power when you do name that thing. And I was just thinking about how funny that is that Carlos and I will stop and do that on the smallest little things, but it means it has power when you name them. And I cannot think of the second thing that I was gonna say, because I'm getting a little bit more mature, and sometimes
that's the right name. You're just mature.
She just named it. She's getting mature.
Just named it.
Right. So let's talk about then that mental health. We know we need to name it, but then the question here is that then why is silence around mental health so costly?
Okay. I came up with a few. Well, as I said before, you know, through the years, if somebody who looked like us had a problem, you punish them physically or you lock them up. That adds to the silence. I don't want to say anything because that's exactly what they're going to do. Put me in a padded room, put me in prison.
Call me crazy.
That's usually what I hear. I don't want to be called crazy. I was like, there's so many other things we can talk about other than crazy. But after a while, after you've talked and tried to be heard, if you're not being heard, you stop talking.
Wow.
That's important. That's so important. One of the exercises that I was a part of some years back in a conference was the leader of the conference challenged us to look for the quiet places in your community, not in the quiet, peaceful places, but in the places where people were unseen and unheard.
Yeah.
Because to Adrian's point, when you ignore something or someone feels ignored, hopelessness will create a type of silence.
Yeah.
That if nobody's going to hear,
that's right.
If nobody's going to care, then I'm
going to stop talking, which happens in couples a lot. They come to me and it's like, well, are y'all talking? No. Wow. So which means I've done everything I can to turn the volume up and you still don't hear me. I feel worthless. So I won't talk.
So that can become costly there because now they have to come and see a therapist.
Relationships deteriorate.
You retreat or withdraw, or you feel like you're not valuable, or like you say, that just have this hopelessness in you. It's why say something when I'm either going to be shut down or I'm not going to be heard, seen, or valued in this space. And so it keeps your voice quiet. I can see that. Wow.
Yeah. And it's not a missed point that in our society right now, the biggest epidemic that's impacting people's physical health is loneliness and isolation. As much as we are more connected in a technological kind of way than we've ever been before, people are dying from loneliness.
Yes. So interesting you would say that, because we've had a number of couples who are in high power positions who are just saying, we don't have community. We don't have anyone we could talk with. And we are lonely. And I'm like, wow. So you're right. There is an epidemic, but we have to create that community, which is one of the things that's why Carlos and I think it's very important to have community in a space to where you feel like your voice can be heard no matter what. You're not silenced on that. So you have a great point.
Naming that thing. I think it was, who was it? Bell Hooks, who said, no one heals in isolation.
I'll say that again.
No one heals in isolation. No one heals in isolation. So again, that gets to your point, Adrian, about being heard and being taken seriously. Again, you can talk about the disparities even in medicine, where a black woman who expresses pain is treated differently than her white counterpart. It's not taken as seriously because there's this idea that you can take it, or you're not serious, or you just, there's all of these stigmas that are associated with legacies of systemic injustice that push people into a silence that create the stigma that's attached to naming any type of illness or ailment. Right?
Yeah. There's also the distrust of professionals. Let's not forget history. Tuskegee Airmen, Henrietta Lacks. I mean, you're like, do I trust you? I've seen what you've done, or there's not a whole lot of qualified, I'm saying that, African-American mental health professionals. Because everybody who has letters is not always great. Some people are sloppy and clumsy and not ethical.
Wow.
And they're afraid to trust you. You look like me, but do you really get me?
Or, and I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna get in trouble for it. In the internet university.
Oh, mercy, come on.
Where
mercy.
Where you could be a life coach, or you could be a relationship counselor with no covering, with no direction, with no.
You're about to get in trouble.
You are going to get in trouble now at this point. But Adrian, I would like to say, I would like to go back to what you said when you said that everybody that has the letters may not be as qualified, and people are questioning whether they can trust you as a licensed professional counselor at this point. The young lady that we had on last week said exactly the same thing. She said exactly the same thing that you are saying at this point. So for you, what makes you a qualified licensed professional counselor? What makes you unique to where people say, oh yeah, Adrian gets me. She wants, I definitely want to connect with her in this space.
Wow. That is all honor to the God I serve. And I asked people, I said, do you want a counselor who's a Christian, or you want a Christian counselor? Is it? They're not the same.
Oh,
I have to ask, because if they tell
Okay.
you I'm an atheist or I serve the universe, you have to go with where they lead you. But when you tell me you believe, oh, we can incorporate that. You know, some people get it anyway and don't realize I'm giving it to them, but I hope they're not watching. So
Hide the vegetables. Hide the vegetables. Hide the vegetables.
Right. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper in that, because I do like that. So when you said you ask your clients, do you want a Christian that's a licensed professional counselor, or do you want a licensed professional counselor that's a Christian? Tell me the difference.
The difference is when you share with me that, you know, we have the same, or at least that you believe in God. That's an opportunity. Would you like for us to include that in the session? 9 times out of 10, they say yes. But I will let them know, you know, this is what I believe. However, ethically, I cannot impose, you know, my beliefs on you, but this is how I feel. Share with me what you believe, so that they know there's space for them to be themselves. I'm not trying to control them, but I am a human, and this is where that way, if we don't link up or sync up, let me help you find somebody who is going to work for you. The goal is for you to get the help you need. If you don't feel safe talking to me, I haven't done what I'm supposed to.
Right.
So that's not fair to you.
Okay.
So yeah.
So if I am not a believer, but I still want you to be my counselor, then that means that you have become a licensed professional counselor that's a Christian. That's what. But if I say, I want you, that I believe in God, I want that, then you are a Christian counselor for me. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to go to some of the comments before we jump on into something else. And this was from earlier. We had something from Jocelyn. And that was when we were talking about the naming. And she talked about how it's so much power. We had mentioned that in naming something. So if you feel like you can name it, you then claim it.
Can I take this one?
Yes, and we have some new viewers on as well. We just want to say welcome to our new viewers who have joined us. And let's see, we had another one. Well, Jocelyn is hot in the comments. Yeah.
I want to say something about this whole being afraid to name something. I had an encounter with someone who was really big on the professing, declaring, decreeing, and I got nothing against that, but this person ended up sick, really sick, and in a coma for an extended period of time. Right. And I went to visit them regularly. They didn't know I was in the room with them, praying with them and their spouse. And the person eventually wakes up out of that coma, but their theology had changed. Right. And I'm gonna tell you why. Calling something what it is not the same as claiming it, or what the name it and claim it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name, I ain't gonna claim that. I'm not claiming that. If you have a fever of 103.5,
you have a fever.
You don't have to claim it. It claimed you. Get treatment. You need an antifebrile medicine. You don't need to be sweating profusely and talking out of your head.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to claim it, baby. It's got his hand on you. And you need Jesus and a doctor or an IV so you can get well. Let's not look. St. Augustine said, one of the Black church fathers in the early church history, St. Augustine said, all truth is God's truth. Now, all of what Jesus did was pre-scientific age. But this truth that we are in possession of now, the ring of truth, is God's truth.
Yeah.
And we would be wise to leverage this knowledge.
Yes.
Yes.
That liberates people, that heals people, and that allows them to enter into the abundant life that Jesus died to secure for us. It would be it's the old story of the man drowning and saying, I'm waiting on Jesus to save me. And a helicopter drops a ladder, a boat comes, and he turns them all down and drowns, and he gets to St. Peter's Gate mad, wants a court with God, because like, God, look, I waited on you and you didn't you didn't come get me. And God is like, man, I sent you a boat, a helicopter, I had scuba divers, I had the Coast Guard out there. You turned them all down. Get the help that God sends. Right?
How do we tell our viewers, and what are some things that we can do to get the help we need? What are some things that we can do?
Here's the thing: between the silence and the strength, there's a lot of fear, because unfortunately, we don't always have the access or the healthcare to afford quality mental health. That's part of what kept us silent. I don't think I can afford it, or I don't know. We don't really have coverage like that. The strength could be to access the healthcare, but there's a fear right in between it. So in order for us to do better, we need to start finding maybe organizations who offer services. If you can't, scholarships. There are organizations out there who do that, who can sponsor.
That's good.
That's good.
That's
good. So is the fear coming from not being able to afford it? Is it also coming from the stigma that's actually on mental health? And it's coming from, is anybody in my family or in my community going to support me as I walk through this? I just want to make sure that we're defining what the fear is.
The finances is one.
Okay.
A lot of people who get into it, they're like, this is new for me, I'm going to try it out. They'll come twice or once, and that's it, because they've had somebody talk them out of, you don't need that, or they over spiritualize.
All you need is Jesus. Stop taking that blood pressure medicine. Stop taking them pills. You just pray and you're gonna be all right.
So they're confused. There's a fear. I want the help, but sister and brother, I don't want to discredit what God can do. That's not what the counselor's job is for, anyways. This is not a substitute for God, His power, or His word.
Come on.
Never.
That's good.
Never. I'm not him.
No. But God does operate through people.
He does.
He gives people healing gifts and gives them to the healing arts, and that knowledge came from God. And again, I love what you said about not over spiritualizing it, not discounting the way that God can operate through medicine or through therapy in order to heal someone. And we in that respect, I think what has to happen is that we got to create a broad and generous space where we destigmatize people taking care of their mind.
Oh, come on.
Right. The same way we talk about taking care of your body. You got to look, if you're going to enter into the full and abundant life that Jesus died for us to have, you got to take care of your mind, your body, and your soul. It's not. Destigmatize. You're not. I'm not going to ridicule Carlos for taking some Tylenol because you got a headache.
No.
Yeah, right. No. Right. Exactly.
No.
Why would I stigmatize somebody who needs some therapy or needs something to address a chemical imbalance?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I am always celebrating if anybody is brave enough to tell me that they're going through therapy. I'm always celebrating and supporting.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
I don't know what their story is, but if they felt that it was necessary enough for them to get quality therapy, I want to be able to support that. And I was like, you keep going until you get the answer or until you get stabilized enough to where you may not need the therapy anymore at this point. So I really appreciate that. Then how can we practically take steps to prioritize our mental health? What are the things that we can do to prioritize that? Because that is so important, especially with, and as you're thinking, Adrian, especially with the challenges and the heaviness that we have to deal with, not only directly, but also indirectly. Some of the things that we see on TV or that's happening in our society or that's happening around our family that we may not talk about, or things that may be happening in church, or all of that. And then having to provide stuff, because we've got people that all of a sudden they've lost their job through no fault of theirs. But there's a lot of people losing their jobs right now. There's a lot of people that's having serious challenges with just having to wake up every morning and knowing where they need to go. So I would really love for you to give us some practical steps on how can we care for our mental health.
Wow. Well, I realized that a lot of us were raised by, taught by, shaped by an older generation who had no choice but to work through, push through, keep their head down, don't complain, don't ask for anything. When you grow up, you do the same thing as me because that's how you survive in this harsh, cruel world. They had to do that. We cannot judge them for that because that was their story. That was their struggle. Now we're trying to pay more attention. Some of them are telling us, you just need to keep going. You just need to push through. Don't you cry, man. Woman, don't you stop working. Don't you? Because if you slow down, you're going to notice the pain. And we don't have time for pain. We don't have time for pain. Nobody's going to listen to us. Nobody's going to help us. So if we are able to slow down without being too selfish, because, it's a balance. Don't let me go there. We sometimes slow down too much. We need to recognize when something is off in you. When your body is telling you something and you're like, I gotta push through. There's some things you should not push through because it's gonna put you down. And somebody next to you is gonna have to care for you. Now they have to stop working. Now they gotta pay for everything. Now what? You're teaching them.
Or even in that, nod to the ancestors for giving us what they had. We stand on their shoulders. We're here because of what they endured. But a lot of our foremothers and forefathers were broken and dysfunctional and unhealthy and unhappy. And they passed on that legacy of suffering.
In silence.
And unaddressed issues, repression and suppression. And not dealing with stuff and family secrets and sweeping stuff under the rug.
That's it.
And what happened in a generation ends up becoming transgenerational trauma. So we just keep perpetuating because we don't, and again, nodding to the ancestors, one of the great things they did give us was when you know better,
you do better.
We're learning more. We're understanding more about our human condition and about them. And as we learn more, then guess what? We should be improving on what the ancestors gave us. It's okay to rest.
Oh, yeah. We don't know
how. That. Don't say that.
But the ancestors, you can hear them. They say rest, but don't quit.
Yeah, that's it.
Pause when you need to, right?
Yeah.
So that your soul can catch up with your body. Pause when you need to. That's what rest is. Let your soul catch up to where your body is.
Yeah.
But don't quit.
Yeah.
Right? Like again, all this knowledge comes from God, and we got to be unashamed about embracing it.
Yeah.
And seeing that even though Jesus was not a scientist, you know, he understood human pathology like nobody else did. And he could speak to it in ways that again liberated folks.
Yeah.
Right. And we gotta do the same. So us working together over all these years, sitting next to each other and pastoring people through grief and trauma and relationship issues and financial issues and all of these things. This is what responsible pastoral care looks like. I understand the limitations of what I can offer.
That's good. Okay, so one of the steps that you all said is rest, so that your soul can catch up with your mind.
Yes.
All right, you said rest. Rest is a good thing. Just
don't quit.
Which is great. That's one practical thing that we can do. Give us at least one more practical thing we can do to prioritize our mental health.
Don't lie, don't deny, figure out why.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Don't lie.
Don't lie.
Don't lie. Don't deny. Figure out why.
Don't lie. Don't lie. That's so good. Don't deny. That'll preach up in here. Where's the organ at, y'all? We fit the tune up.
Oh my God, that is so good.
I know.
Don't lie, don't deny, and figure out why.
And here's why I say that.
Please.
When you ask people, how are you doing today? What are they going to say?
Fine.
I'm fine.
I'm
okay. You sure? Because your face looks a little, no, I'm good. I'm fine. Don't lie. Don't deny. Figure out why doesn't what I see match what I hear?
What you're saying.
That something is off. So we were trained. Honestly, we're trained in society. We go to work sick. We send our kids to school sick because you got to keep going. Because if you take a day off,
you're lazy. You got dysphagia. You lazy.
Okay. That's shameful.
No, that is real. That's true though. Because we think about that. Well, how are they going to perceive me? If I am sick? So I'll just go ahead and push through. And I'll just rest when I get home. And you don't rest when you get home.
Think about that weight, man.
Okay, that was rich right there. That is rich right there.
Can I add one tail end on it? What I would say is every now and then you have to think about what you're thinking about.
Thinking about.
Okay.
Think about what you're thinking about.
Are y'all hearing this online tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every
now and then you gotta think about what you're thinking about.
Yeah, you have to mind your thoughts. And to Adrian's point, figure out where this is coming from. What triggered me to go down this path mentally or emotionally? Why am I feeling? Because fine is not an emotion.
I'm fine.
Is not an emotion.
I'm good.
Think about what you're thinking. Develop an emotional vocabulary so you can start naming what you're feeling.
And
start dealing.
Powerful right there, because Dr. Buckingham had mentioned something on one of the other mental health wellness live shows. He talked about our vocabulary, like men's vocabulary, and how many expressions they have as it relates to emotions. And it was like somewhere around 8 or maybe 4 to 8.
Anger, frustration. I can probably run the list for you.
Yes. And so if we can expand our vocabulary when it comes to emotion, because sometimes it's maybe the first thing you're saying, but let's dig a little deeper. Maybe it's I'm feeling insecure. Maybe I'm feeling, just kind of getting
Maybe
more
I'm disappointed.
yes.
And for a man, it's always gonna be angry.
Yes.
But you're angry because you're hurt. You're angry because you're disappointed. You're angry because you're asking the next question, right?
You don't have to lead with anger all the time. So
I love what you guys have done. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, finish, baby.
You all have given us at least 4 things that we can do in order to prioritize our mental health well-being. 1 is establish an emotional vocabulary. 2 is to mind your thoughts. Think about what you're thinking about. 3, don't lie. Don't deny. But figure out why. And then the 4th one, I thought I had it written down here. It's the very first one that you all said. What was that?
Name it.
Naming it.
Yes, name it. And when someone put that out there, and I'd love for you all to address it, it says good music is therapeutic. Good music is therapeutic, and I believe that.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to name good music.
Yeah, it is. Good music.
Good music.
Now, aesthetics are subjective, but good music.
Yeah. Good music. The music that is life-giving, that is not degrading, that is not sucking, that is not giving out destructive.
We did that. Yeah. It's interesting. Before y'all got to Peace Baptist back in Cincinnati, we did an exercise with the kids because we didn't want to tell them, don't listen to this, listen to that. Don't listen to this, listen to that. We did an exercise with the music.
What did you do?
Said listen, how does it make you feel?
Wow.
There's some music I could put on in the gym or if I'm running that's not necessarily sacred music and it have me, but it's not something I really need. If I need to calm down, this is not what I need to be listening to.
That's not what you need to listen.
If I'm trying to stay in the right mind, a constructive mind, a peace, maybe not. Maybe this is not, or at very least, if you do listen with a filter. But you can't tell teenage kid, don't listen. Listen with a filter. Interrogate that stuff. Don't just receive it and then start producing behaviors that you don't know where they came. It came from all that junk you put in.
That right there.
You gotta guard your heart and mind.
So I appreciate it.
You gotta guard your heart and mind. Gotta guard. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, I wanted to ask another question. I wanted to say, how can we support some of our loved ones who may be struggling in silence? What are the things that we can do?
I like creating a space where they feel comfortable to share. If you just go right in and ask people how they're doing, they're going to give you the expected answer. They might even just give you short answers. But if you make them feel comfortable and safe, say, hey, if you ever need to talk to me, I'm here. And I've, had that situation come up with several people. They're like, oh, I need to talk to my child or my spouse. I said, if you create the space in time, they will feel comfortable coming to you. And when it happened, they came to me in tears saying, I was able to be there for them. And they opened up about something that was traumatic that they never found out before until that moment, because they created a space to let them know, I'm here if you want to talk. And then you have to also share some of how you are able to get to talk and vent, because they're not willing. If they're like, that might work for you, but for me, if they know you have a good experience with sharing, saying, I've done it before too. This is what it did for me. If you ever want to talk, create the space.
Okay.
Create
that space. How can I create a good, safe and brave space?
I've seen Adrian do this, and we do it with couple. Well, I hope they're not, because this is a trick. You get them to play cards. We play spades, so let's play together. And you'd be surprised at how people are disarmed. Look, nothing removes a mask like a bad hand of spades. If there's anything bubbling below the surface, it's gonna come out. If the cards ain't falling right, but I say that jokingly, but I've watched Adrian do this with children.
Yes.
Yeah.
But with
I might have said spades are the best. Spades are the best. Okay.
But it's through play.
Yeah. It is through play.
It's through play.
Because there's no pressure.
No.
Yeah.
There's no pressure.
We're not aiming at the problem. We're just trying to create a space where you can relax.
Yeah. We used to do that a lot when the boys were growing up, putting puzzles out. And you just do, like you said, play, and the conversations just happen. If they don't feel like they're being interrogated by you and asking these questions, and so it just becomes more conversation, and the space is very open, very light, and they feel brave, they feel safe. And so but I'm a puzzle person. I love to do puzzle and put pieces together. I think that's very therapeutic, like music and spades. Now I don't know, spades sometimes can get a little tense.
You know what? We play, but now we don't play to win. And it's taking the pressure off. Winning is nice, but we don't play to win. We just
beware of playing spades with the mixers. Okay? Look, I want to thank you all. If you can believe it, it's actually almost been an hour.
Oh no! I didn't realize that.
I know, but it's been so engaging. We've had a lot of comments in the chat because of the knowledge that you all have actually brought to us regarding the stigma, the strength of what that looks like, and then practical steps to help prioritize our mental well-being, which is great. And then I love the history that you've given us regarding that dysphagia that's happening. And then if we want to be free, that was labeled as a mental issue. And then we have to keep naming those things so that we can have authority and dominion over those things, and we can have the control that we actually need. And I love also what you all said is that therapy is not a substitute for the Word of God. It is not. The Word of God is the Word of God, and nothing can stand against it at all. But therapy comes alongside and supports and helps to navigate and helps the process. So I appreciate that you all are putting that in its rightful context. That's so good. Okay, so I know we could talk for like 4 more hours, but we're not. We're so excited to wrap it up. Just closing comments from you all regarding mental health in the Black community.
To make sure we are not getting caught up in what the world is saying, practice self-care. Okay. Take care of your soul.
Soul care.
Take care of your soul, of what you are taking in, ingesting, allowing to penetrate, because from the inside out, your light has to come from the inside out. Take care of the light, the soul. That's the self-care, taking care of the soul, which belongs to God. That's how you can protect your mind. Because with my mind, I serve Christ. Isn't that what the scripture says? Take care of your soul. And there's only one who can do that for you. So you have to make sure that's protected above all else.
Yeah.
That's a word.
I think I would just follow that by saying Jesus taught us a bunch of stuff, right? That has to do with caring for your soul or protecting your mental health. When he says, don't worry, or resist anxiety. He over and over again, don't worry. Right?
Don't worry.
and his remedy for not worrying is to stay present. In the 21st century, we call that mindfulness. But
think on these things.
But Jesus, you see, but Jesus said, "Don't worry."
Yeah.
Or when we endure trauma, he says, "Forgive," because forgiveness is as much for you as it is for them. It frees your body of clinging to trauma that creates sickness or dis-ease. Right? It favors compassion over vengeance.
Yeah.
Right, which leads to a type of emotional maturity that is mental health at its apex. Right.
Yeah.
That I'm going to care for myself as I care for you. Right. In these really deep and rich ways, it frees us and it allows us to live faithfully. It is not faithless to get therapy or to receive assistance. It frees us to live into the fullness of the abundant life that Christ died to give to us. Right. That's the gospel.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot believe that it has gone by that fast. I mean, there was still. I know it's like we could go on and on, but our viewers is like, okay. Again, we want to thank you all for your time, and we want to say to our viewers, you can go back and watch the beginning of this. We also we want to invite you here every Tuesday at 9:00. We are ending this month with a mental wellness and mental health awareness. And then next month, we're going to be celebrating our anniversary for 34 years. Plus the 6 years we dated. I've known this man 40 years. Oh, I'm telling my age.
From the womb. Your mama met his mama, and both of y'all left.
Here we are. And so we're going to be celebrating. We have some fun things coming up for June. We're going to have different people hanging out with us. So you guys have to join us. We also are going to be doing a masterclass. Yes, a masterclass is coming up on June 8th. And that masterclass is going to be giving you the formula on how to have a master for marriage. And it's going to be cool. We're going to be showing you 7 keys and the way you can do that. And so we hope that you can come out and hang out with us. I'm going to put up here just quickly I want to put up maybe our QR code. You can go out there, you can scan that code and join us. It'll be an hour to 2 hour session, and we're really going to be dropping some nuggets in there for you to have a master for marriage, because God did not design us to just go through life not by design, it did it by design, and not by default. And so we want to make sure that you all join us on that, because we in this thing for real. For real. So with that, what you got, Carlos?
I'm done.
You're done. All right, y'all go out there. We hope you'll join us next week. And while you're doing that, let's get
powered up.
Y'all have a great one. Be blessed.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great one.